Yo, what's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing today? It is Tuesday, October 10th, here for week 5 of the podcast. I'm joined by Justin. We are ready to start this podcast, and we are very excited to talk about everything that's going to be going on this week and a lot of crazy shit that's happened, right, Justin? Just a
Yeah,
lot of crazy shit, and it's it's shaping out kind of weird, right? Like a lot of weird things have been happening. Teams that are starting to slowly come back, and then other teams that are looks like they're almost getting out of the contention. So we're gonna be going over everything, guys. Hitting most of the games, and then we're gonna be hitting at least every game, at least going over every game. But we're gonna be concentrating on. We have a couple picks for you guys for the games that we thought that we should really touch up on. And the first game we're going to talk about is the Bears at the Commanders, with the
and
Bears ended up coming out on top, 40 to
real quick,
20.
just to you guys watching, this is our first time on YouTube. We're about 5 videos in. Go check those out if you haven't already. This is going to be our 5th podcast. If you haven't already, check out our other videos because they're going to be showing you guys what we're feeling like in the beginning of the season and see how our lists are coming true or if we're taking just bad takes on these things. And you guys can send out your comments. If I have a bad take, just let me know about it in the comments. Let me know. We're interested in talking to you guys. So the more you guys type to us, the more we talk to you guys.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead and kick it off with Thursday Night Football. Wow, Sammy. Bears at Commanders. Who had the Bears doing what they did? How crazy.
To the Commanders, especially after the Commanders this past week literally almost ended up beating the Eagles. That was a crazy game in itself. So, and then I just had a feeling, Justin. I don't know what it was. Like when you gave me that call, and this is like fantasy talk, and I'm not going to go over it too much, but when you gave me that call about the Justin Fields or the Jordan Love,
Here
my
we go.
gut was literally saying Justin Fields. And I literally was telling, I was like, I don't want to tell you, Justin, but it's like, my gut's saying Justin Fields. And you're like, I don't know, man. Like, it's like, I'm telling you, I understand Washington just played good. They just went against the Eagles, and they are going to be tired. They only had like 3 or 4 days of rest. You know what I mean? And then, they're going back home to play the Bears. So it's like, and they were like probably not even expecting as much from the Bears, right? I mean, if I was from Washington, I'd be like, the Bears, they're 0-3 or 0-4 right now. We're not worried. But they came out hot. Justin Fields with throwing over 282 yards and 4 touchdowns with averaging 9.7 every reception. So what do you think, Justin? What do you think about this
Just
game?
the first thing I thought about was on Thursday to elaborate on, my Jordan Love or Justin Fields. We're talking about fantasy, and I was calling Sammy, and I was like, "Hey, man, I'm so stressed. Who do I play? You got Justin Fields on a Thursday night or Jordan Love on a Monday night? Like my fantasy's doomed. Like this is Jordan Love's been constantly putting up 20 points. Justin Fields had that one good game against the Broncos, but it was against the Broncos. So I was like, okay, so clearly he can't do that again against another team. But the upside on Justin Fields, I'm glad I played him. I was at Halloween Horror Nights, for you guys that know what that is. I was in line just watching the game, jumping up and down, knowing that I started Justin Fields. Good for them. Great win. We saw their offense clicking for the second time in 2 games. So, the Bears, they might have figured something out. We might be seeing, a turnaround. They do have some tough games coming up, but I see the Bears, winning a couple games this year and not keeping on pace with this losing streak.
Yep. I liked how they started utilizing Justin Fields' legs again. 11 carries for 57 yards. That's the kind of numbers we like to see. We still like to see him a little bit higher, but at the same time, I mean, if he's still getting it done in the air, he's still getting it done. He didn't throw it perfect, right? I believe he threw just a little over 50%. So he didn't throw it perfect, but he still got the job done, and then at least when he was getting it done, he was averaging almost 10 yards of
And
reception.
and
So
Sammy, big injury to the Bears running back there. Khalil Herbert out.
yeah,
That's a huge injury after he had that monster game, and he was setting up for another monster game. And I cannot believe that, it was a non-contact injury. Those ones are tough, man. So we'll see what the Bears do with this situation they have at running back. But
and
I
that
mean,
just
it's
happened with
great to see
somebody
that they're
else.
passing the ball, very nicely. Honestly, I thought they could have probably scored more. And I think you agree. He missed some shots to Mooney, just not catching the ball there. And it looks like, DJ Moore is just the trustworthy guy that's going to be catching all the balls there in the Bears town.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I like I said, there's another guy that literally got pretty famously hurt, right? That was non-contacted, Travis Kelsey, and I bet everybody was scared for that, Kansas City Chiefs team. We're not going to talk about that right now, but on the Khalil Herbert side, I mean, you're probably feeling the same way, right? You're like, after these past stellar games he's had, you don't want this kind of guy, on the running game gone, because you still want to utilize Justin Fields. I understand utilize his legs, but you don't want to overutilize them,
Yeah.
because that's when he started getting hurt, and that's why the Bears started technically
Well,
like
the reason
using
why,
Burrow a lot
Sammy, I
more.
think this is a huge hit to them is because look at the way he was used in the last two games. Like, he's been able to propel their offense to be able to get those strikes downfield, getting average yards around, I believe, 6 to 8 around there, before even contact. So especially in that game, if you see him in the future, those times the offense are going to go off, and then there's going to be times where he's not going to be on the field because of this injury, and that's just going to be a real bummer because now they're looking at pass rush defenses that's just going to be able to stop them.
Right. Yep. I couldn't agree more, man. I mean, Washington defense, I mean, they played so good against the Eagles. I definitely did not see them playing this bad against the Bears. Don't get me wrong. I thought Fields, definitely might put on a field day, but not that kind of field day. He definitely threw, with the 4 touchdowns, no
Yep,
interceptions,
he went off,
didn't cause any fumbles. He played good. He played good,
and he
and the
got some yards on
defense
his feet
was,
too.
yeah, like I don't know, they just looked very tired, and that's what I was saying. Like they just looked tired. They didn't feel like they were on the same page, and it kind of sucked to be a Washington fan at that point, because like almost beat the Eagles, and then you're going to versus the Bears. You're like, okay, we should be able to get this bag. We should be 3-2, but now you're 2-3 with the L from the Bears. So I mean,
And I mean, not looking good. 2 straight losses. They're not looking good right now,
no.
and I think this is taking a hit on them in their locker room, and we'll see where that goes. But it could be beneficial. The coach Ron Rivera can be, like really paying attention to what's happened to them the last 2 games, and then kind of coach them on that. We'll see what they come out looking like. Sammy, do they have a bye this week coming up?
Uh, the Commanders.
Yes.
The Commanders. I don't think they do, but let me double check. No, they don't. They verse the Falcons. Their bye isn't until. Actually, they don't even. That's weird. Yeah, they verse. I don't even see where they have a bye. They should have a bye. I don't even know. It's not even showing them having a bye. So, um, obviously they should
I'm
have a
sure.
bye.
I'm sure they do. I'm sure they
Yeah, they
do.
just might have messed it up a little bit,
Yeah.
but yeah, they're going to be at the Falcons next week, and that's going to be another tough matchup. Falcons are looking pretty strong.
Well,
Although they did lose their what was it? The running back, Justin, did they lose? That got hurt. Who ended up getting hurt? I believe
from
it
the
was the running
Falcons.
back. Mhm. One
Um,
of their players ended up getting hurt. But anyways, they Falcons just
couldn't tell
acquired.
you.
Yeah. Anyways, the Falcons literally just acquired Rams wide receiver Jefferson. So that was a surprise. I wasn't actually seeing that coming. Did you? Because I definitely didn't see that coming. But
No, I didn't.
so the Falcons picked them up from the Rams, and that's going to be a big pickup for the Falcons. But anyways, back on topic. At the end of the day, Washington, we're gonna have to pick it up, man. You're 1-2 at home. You're 2-3 for the season. You still got a lot of games. Still keep your head up. You know, Sam Howell, he threw for 51 times. 51 times.
Yep.
So
I mean, that's unbelievable because I know they were coming back off of a deficit, so they had to get some yards, get some deep runs in there, but I don't know why they didn't run the ball. They have crazy running power and crazy talent there at the running back position.
They only ran the ball 10 times total for 29 yards, and 4 of them was the quarterback. So that's saying something. Brian Robinson Jr. only ran 6 times for 10 yards. That was pretty unheard of. So don't get me wrong. I mean, he also
McLaughlin was the show there.
Receiver.
McLaughlin was the show there, man.
Yeah. He
did really well.
Yeah, I was actually kind of surprised. He
was a waiver pickup, I believe, for most people in fantasy, by the way. So if you made that waiver pickup, congratulations. You got yourself a nice week.
Sam Howell, he just he spread around the ball the entire time. He literally was hitting receivers.
Didn't happen until the second half of the game, though. The first half it was quiet. He couldn't do anything.
And also let's not forget to mention before we go to next game what we're going to talk about. DJ Moore. Woo! What a fucking game. 8 receptions, 230 yards, 28.8 average yards per reception with 3 touchdowns.
And we've been talking about this. We've been talking about this, Sammy, for the past 4 weeks. We've been talking about how they can get DJ Moore the ball. He's just that good. It's really not that hard to explain. The dude is just super talented, clear Bears #1 wide receiver. He needs to be fed the ball, and you saw that. What happens when you feed him the ball? He is just that good. If he's open one-on-one, take the shot. Justin Fields is going to do that all day. I see them too being, one of the top 2, duo quarterback wide receiver, pair that we've seen in a while. And that's going to be a great pair. And if they build around those two, I have a feeling that the Bears can have a really nice squad in the future.
More successful. They definitely do need more weapons. Kimmett was actually one of their weapons. I'm glad they finally were able to utilize him, the tight end. Yep. So it's about time they actually utilized him because I always thought he was a pretty stellar, tight end. But he just hasn't been getting hit much. But this is, one of those games where he actually had a breakout performance. So good from him.
The Bears have a little bit of a test. They're versing another bad defense next week. They're going against Minnesota. Now this game is at 1:00 on Sunday. Yes, without Justin Jefferson. And how are the Vikings going to score? And for the Bears, if they just scored over 30 on going against Denver, I believe it's 28. If I'm not mistaken, going against Denver, scoring 28, then going to Washington and scoring 40. How much points do you think they're going to score on one of the worst defenses in the league? Another one.
I guess we'll
3
see.
horrible defenses. You think they put up another 30-point performance and they get another dub? 2 and
I think so.
2 and 4, and then the Vikings go to 1 and 5.
I can see it. I can see that because the Bears are at home, if I'm correct, right? Bears are at home.
Yes.
Okay, so I can see it. I can see it definitely happening. So we'll see what ends up happening. I definitely see the
Bears' next 2 games are at home, Minnesota and Las Vegas.
Yeah. Well, and this is a big game for Minnesota. They need to win this because they don't win this game. They got some really tough games coming up after that. So this is the game they really have to win. If they, because honestly, I see them going 1-3 over the next 4 games. But we'll get later on that. Justin, you want to bring up the next game?
Yeah, we got the game over in London, man. We got the Bills and the Jags. What happened to the Bills for the first 3 quarters of the game?
I don't know, man. I mean, they only had a touchdown in the second quarter. And I thought honestly they were gonna start picking it up when I believe, was it Davis that caught the first touchdown or was it Diggs?
Diggs the first one, and then Davis caught the last one.
Right. So when Diggs ended up catching that touchdown, right? I thought for a fact, I was like, yep, here they go. They're going to start picking it up now. You know, I feel like that's all Josh Allen needs, right? That confidence booster. Once he starts throwing, once he starts connecting, he just starts feeling it, right? But unfortunately, that is not what happened. They fell short 25-20 against the Jags. And you can also say, well, the refs were against us, holding this, holding that. You know, it's like, well, I mean, it was clear cut.
Let's just be honest. For any of you guys that think they're jet lagged or any other excuse you can come up with for the Bills, listen, they arrived on Friday. Okay, so they had 2 days to kind of prepare themselves, get situated back to the time zone that they're in. Kind of get used to that. I know the Jags have been over for 2 weeks, so they're already used to it. But I mean, the Bills, man, you guys have such a better squad than the Jags, and that's just being honest. I know you have tons of injuries in your defense, but that wasn't the problem. The problem was the offense. How was that offense not clicking against a Jacksonville defense that really hasn't done much this entire middle of the pack in defense? I mean, we saw them delete, Miami, easily be able to put up 30-some points against the Jags. But, I mean, for them to come short like that, only score 20 points, and that was literally the fourth quarter, it's just a little bit too late to get on the roll like that, man. You're going to lose a game like that.
Now, we have to also talk about the big elephant in the room, Von Miller. What's going on with him, Justin?
I think, so I was pretty excited for the Bills. I was like, wow, they're going to get Von Miller back. He was gone. What that team and that crazy defense looks like with Von Miller back. But the problem with that is he just came off of an injury, and they're just going to limit him. They're going to give him a pitch count, kind of go out there to just play 1, 2, 3 downs, at a certain time, give him a lot of rest. That they're not, pushing him into full status just yet. That's a huge injury. He was gone for a certain amount of time, and they just have good defensive pieces already there. So kind of giving him more time to prepare for the playoffs if they make it there. That's just seems like what they're doing there with Von Miller.
Yeah.
He is a bit older, so they do want to keep him more limber and ready to go when they do hit the playoffs.
They want to try to save him as much as they can.
Yeah, we're looking for last year. We're looking at a team. If they had Von Miller last year, we're looking at a team that possibly could have made it out of the AFC.
Yeah, I mean, this is really big, right? Because now Miami just took over the AFC East with that loss from the Bills, which is kind of unfortunate. Now they do have the win over Miami, but it doesn't really matter if the Bills don't end up at least catching back up with Miami and at least tying them for that tiebreaker, because that's the only time it really plays effect. So you need to make sure that you're getting these wins when you need it, especially against a team like
I predicted, Sammy. Like I predicted, these two are going to be battling till the end of this entire season. The Dolphins and the Bills are going to be battling for that number 1 seed, man. They're going to be trying to see if they can make it out of there, and that's a tough division, and I don't see the Jets possibly standing a chance in that division.
Yeah.
Jets or the Patriots, no possible way. Those two powerhouses within Miami offensively and the Bills offensively and defensively past this last week that we saw, though. I'm not talking about this past week. This past week, they look like the Packers. Scoring in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. Calvin Ridley putting up great numbers with 7 receptions, 122 yards.
What a great game from Calvin Ridley. Just getting open, great hands, great awareness, realizing that he's got to get his feet down before he goes out. Just fantastic, play out of him. Humongous talent and a great addition to this Jaguars team that has a young quarterback that's looking for that number 1 wide receiver, and they got him. Kevin really is that guy. I mean, look what he's been able to do with this team, and I don't see that going anywhere soon. In fact, I see it getting better, and now they're above 500, 3-2. We're looking at a team that still is that playoff threat.
Yep, and they are tied right now with Indianapolis at 3-2 as well. So it's gonna be crazy how this one ends up turning out to be. Kind of crazy that we're seeing the Tennessee Titans at the very bottom there, but at the same time, just haven't been performing. So, but yeah, and then also another big shout out to Travis Etienne doing the same thing.
Well, not doing the same thing.
No.
Finally doing his thing.
Okay, yeah.
Finally doing his thing.
Finally doing his thing with 26 carries, 136 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Definitely getting the work done for sure. So big congrats, especially with the Buffalo defense. Definitely did not see that. I thought maybe they would be passing a lot more. I thought Buffalo has a better rush defense, but they did not do very well against Travis at all. So
it just didn't come prepared, really. Defensively, they didn't look there. Offensively, it didn't click. It seems like they were just clicking too late, into the game to come back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so big congrats to Jacksonville getting that big win over the Buffalo Bills. I bet a lot of those fans are very happy right now. But yeah, let's go off to the next game. We got the Tennessee Titans at the Indianapolis Colts, with the Colts ending up pulling it away 23-16.
One name. Okay. Zach freaking Moss, dude. How good is this guy, man? Why did they pay Jonathan Taylor so much money when they have a guy that's been thriving with them there for the entire season so far? Literally since, week 1, just been really giving it all he's got week to week, not getting injured, staying on the field, getting touchdowns. The guy is looking like a Nick Chubb.
Yeah, he's doing great, but here's the problem, right? Now with Jonathan Taylor getting that big contract from the Colts, one of the biggest actually, at least running back wise, this is going to put a big hurt on Zach Moss and his gameplay, because when Jonathan Taylor comes back, which he's probably going to be coming back full time next week, following week, I would say within the next 2-3 weeks, he's going to be running back 1. There is just no world that I don't see Jonathan Taylor being running back 1. You don't pay some guy that much money to have him running back 2. And that's just sad reality. So unfortunately, if anything,
so let me ask you this.
Stock from other teams to look at you. But
let me ask you this, Sammy.
Unfortunately, going to be running back 2.
Do they trade him? There's no use. You're saying there's no use for Zach Moss. Do they trade him? And what would they receive in return for a trade like a guy like Zach Moss? What do you think they would receive?
You're going to get a big bump now.
Okay, so when we're looking at the Colts, right, what do they need? Offensive line, right? That's what you That's what you think. Offensive line, defense, maybe even a wide receiver. So when we're trading a guy like Zach Moss, he's not really paid that well right now. Before he gets a big deal, which I believe he will. So, I mean, his value isn't going to be high. So, they're definitely going to keep him, I believe, for the rest of this year. Kind of roll with both of them, see how it ends up. I think Zach Moss looks perfect for that team, man. I just don't. It's kind of like the debate where which quarterback should start for the Patriots or which quarterback should start for the Jets because their quarterback situation's crazy. Same thing with the Colts. Like, who should they start? Well, honestly, they should run with the guy who's already been solid with them for the first 4 weeks, and then kind of get the other guy rolling until he can get to that. But we don't know. We haven't seen Jonathan Taylor in a while. We don't know if he can ever get back to that same Jonathan Taylor that he's been.
Like I said, at the end of the day, Justin, I feel like it's not going to matter.
You know, they gave him that contract. I believe they gave him that contract because they saw something out of him. You know, he kind of like earned that contract with the Colts, but I'm not necessarily saying that was the best decision for them.
No,
I don't know with a guy like Zach Moss, man, like that's been just a killer on the backfield for you guys, just absolutely giving you guys, 10, almost 12 yards a carry before first contact. Like, dude, like the guy is just good, man. Like, I think the Colts run with him, give Jonathan Taylor in the mix, but like Zach Moss is the Nick Chubb of your team. Like, they should really see this.
Justin, I get you, Justin, but you're living in another reality. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen. It's going to be Jonathan Taylor going to be running back 1 for the team. Now, like I said, it might take another game or 2, but it's going to happen. Whether it's going to be week 8, week 9,
We'll see. All right, so viewers, you heard it here first. You heard it here first, viewers. If Sammy wins, let's have a wager. Let's have a wager. Come on. No. Let's have a wager. Let's have a wager on this.
Sure.
Who will be? All right, so this is for you viewers. This is the question. Who will be the starter at running back position for the Colts for the remainder of the year? Zach Moss or Jonathan Taylor? You guys can throw it in the comments, and we'll see who's right by the end of the year. I'll be going back to this at the end of the year. Maybe we get a collage of all the bad takes we have and all the winners and losers. We'll have a collage for you guys at the end, and I guarantee you Sammy's going to be losing.
Listen here, okay? I'm just going to say this. You don't buy a Lamborghini and just keep it wrapped up.
Here we go.
Do you? Do you just keep it in your garage, just stashed away? Or do you take it out and actually enjoy the car? I'm just saying, you're not going to buy a Lamborghini and just keep it in the garage over a just to and from car. Don't get me wrong, that to and from car is getting it done, right? It's getting it done. But guess what? You got that Lamborghini in there. You're not going to leave that bad boy in there. Not if they're paying that much money for him. You're not going to leave all that money in there. So you're going to be like, I'm going to take this out. I'm going to show it out. Why would you not? So all I'm saying is that it's going to happen. Jonathan Taylor is going to be running back 1 for the Colts. It might not happen next week. It might not happen the following week, but it's going to happen. So mark my words. It will happen. Zach Moss will end up being running back 2, potentially end up getting traded. If they want the trade.
And I don't think that's a bad take at all, but I do think that Zach Moss should be their guy.
I get that, but it's unfortunate what they already did. They already signed Jonathan Taylor to all that money. And they're at that point, they're not just going to put, hey, Zach Moss, you're going to be our signing back. Jonathan Taylor's going to be looking like this, like, okay, I guess I'll just take all that money and just sit on the bench. Like, come on. They're just not going to do that. They're just not going to do that. They're not going to pay some guy all this money to sit on the damn bench, and that's a fact.
Remember, Sammy, he can still be traded. People can like want
try to buy out that contract. It's one of the top running back contracts in NFL. Good luck. Good luck. So, but
I see what you're saying, but it really doesn't make any sense to kind of get away from the guy that's been doing what you guys need out of a running back.
I understand. That's why I'm saying they might slowly get him back into it. It might not be next week, following week, but Jonathan Taylor is going to be running back 1 for the Colts. And that's just a fact. So,
all right. So the bet's in. We'll see what happens and see who wins this debate by the end of the year.
You have any challenge if I end up losing or if you end up losing this? We'll do a little challenge.
Can we?
If you want to play some real bet on this, we can make a little challenge out of it. If you want to.
Well, like it would have to be where our viewers can kind of see it. So what would we do? You want? Can we chug a beer on stream? Can we shotgun a beer on stream?
Just for the whole stream. Yeah, just for that stream.
Are you allowed to shotgun a beer for YouTube?
Not gonna,
we'll get to you guys. We'll notify you guys what we're gonna plan. But as of right now, nothing as of right now, nothing crazy. We gotta abide by the guidelines of YouTube. So we'll see what we can get away with, and if we can, we'll possibly do it for you guys.
Mark my words. Remember, this is week 5. I give it no later than week 10 that running back Jonathan Taylor will be the starting running back for the Colts.
Well, I mean, if it goes all the way to week 10, Sammy, the majority of the games, like, bro, the majority of the games, Zach Moss has started.
How about week 8? Week 8 sound fair?
Yeah, that's good.
Fair?
That's good. That's good.
Okay, so week 8. So by week 8, Jonathan Taylor will be starting running back 1, if not sooner. There, mark my words. All right, off to the next game. Justin, you want to hit this up?
All right, let's see what we got here. Whew.
You already know what we got.
Eagles at Rams.
Yeah. I expected the Rams to put up a better show out, especially against the Eagles. They put out a good show out, but he let Hurts run 15 carries for 72 yards. What?
Yep. Not to mention all the 4th and 1s, all the 3rd and 1s, push.
That's just push, man. It's so
it's crazy. Broken. It's crazy. While we're talking about this, when you look at other teams last week, in particular, like a lot of these teams have been trying this, and a lot of teams have been actually successful. There's a couple teams that they didn't get it done, but we saw last night Jimmy G 2 times quarterback sneak for a first down. So, there's a lot of play calls going on in the NFL that is adding that tush push into their practice, their practice, and then they're bringing it out to the game and they're getting it done. So, I mean, when you have a high success rate like that, like you need to be,
like almost
you need to be doing it. I believe they did fail. I think they did fail one last night.
Oh, they actually,
or not last night, Sunday.
I think they did fail once.
Yeah,
but it was like a 3rd down. It wasn't even
the game was already over, really.
3rd down, and then they did it again, and they got it. So it's just like it didn't really matter because like you might be able to stop it once, especially if it's on 3rd down. You might be able to stop it once, but if they do it again, you're screwed. They're gonna get it.
Eagles, great team. They're 5-0 now, but I mean, look at their schedule. Everyone, stop telling me this team is gonna go undefeated. Look at their schedule and tell me that they're gonna go undefeated. If they go undefeated, they will be one of the best teams we've ever seen. Look what they have to go through. And just real quick, I'll go over it. All right.
Yeah, pull it up. You need
Gotta pull it up.
Oh, no worries. While you're pulling that up real quick, AJ Brown, guys,
all right,
got 6 receptions for 127 yards, averaging 21, and Goddard was actually 8 receptions for 100.
All right, here we go.
Yards, and he was actually useful this game. So big congrats to Goddard.
Here we go.
So,
all right,
guys out in fantasy wise.
All right, Sammy, let me ask you this: do they beat the Jets? That's next week.
Yes.
Okay, so they beat the Jets. Okay, possibly 6-0. Do they beat the Dolphins? That is week 8.
If only if the offense is firing on all cylinders and their defense is playing the way it is, yes.
Then they go against the Commanders. I believe they win that one. I don't think that's really up for debate. Then they got the Cowboys, the Chiefs, and the Bills to pretty much close it out.
Cowboys, yes. Chiefs, question mark, depending on how Mahomes and Travis Kelce, especially with Travis Kelce, that injury, I don't know how bad it is or whatever. And then with the 49ers,
That's what I'm saying. Like,
we will see whenever if they remain undefeated up to that point, and the 49ers are undefeated, at that point, we will have a conversation about that. We will have a conversation about it. But I don't want to put in speculations about it because honestly, I have no clue. I really want to just say 49ers, right? Because 49ers just look like the next level kind of team right now. They just have all-star players in every position. But the Eagles are also performing at a very high level, especially the teams they've been versing. So
so they got
their
so
wins
week
haven't been
11.
crazy, but
They're bye. All right, so they verse the Cowboys on week 9. Then they have a bye week 10. Week 11 is the Kansas City Chiefs. Week 12 is Buffalo Bills. Week 13, San Francisco 49ers. Then they got to go against the Cowboys again. Seahawks, Giants, Cardinals. So week 17, 16, and 15, I believe they can win those. They got to verse the Cowboys twice. And then the 49ers and Bills and Kansas City. I just think that's such a tough schedule for you guys to be saying, we're going to go undefeated. That's... Yeah. A lot of people don't realize how tough that really is. And last year they had such a cushion of like a schedule that they could win all those games, right? But do they do it again? 9-0, 10-0? Do they do that against this schedule that they have coming up? I don't think they do. Do they beat the 49ers? Like,
it's a
you know,
if they beat tougher than the 49ers, I'll tell you that much.
If they beat this schedule and they go undefeated, we're talking about a team historically that will be like one of the best. Mm-hmm. No matter if they win or lose. If they get through all of these teams without losing, yeah, they for sure are the other takes for the Super Bowl in my eyes. But, you know, we're talking about a hard schedule. Whereas the 49ers, they're undefeated. Their schedule is cushiony as
Yeah, it's like this year is built for them, man. I'm telling you, this year is built for them to make it to the Super Bowl. Like, it's just insane. Like, they got everything going.
And for the Rams, they got Cooper Kupp back. Look what he did. Over 100 yards. Wow.
Yeah, for the Rams, Cooper Kupp came back over 100 yards. Puka, he was still relevant. You know, 7 receptions for 71 yards. Although he did cost a fumble, so you gotta be aware of that he did cost a fumble. Cooper Kupp was able to get on top of that before they got it, but yeah, you gotta be careful protecting that ball. So and. Cooper Kupp is still looking. Man, he's still looking.
Puka didn't look great in the beginning of this game. He had a couple drops that hit his hand and kind of just
he had
dropped
11 targets for 7 receptions.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if he's used to being the second target, the second guy on a team now, and I think it's just kind of breaking, you know, what he's been able to show us in the first 4 games, but you know, with this game. He was still relevant, still caught a bunch of balls, but this duo at wide receiver for them is nasty.
Dangerous. It's dangerous.
Nasty.
It is definitely dangerous.
They look like they both deserve to be double teamed, honestly. They look like the same exact person, just one is older than the other.
If I want to double team one person,
it's Cooper Kupp. Yeah. Agreed 100%. What you get out of Puka, like after the catch, and what you get after the catch from Cooper Kupp wins it every time. He gets more yards after the catch easily. He's just that skillful of a wide receiver to just make people miss, and get more yards. It's yards after the catch for Cooper Kupp, and that's what you want to see.
Yep. And as of right now, how you feeling with the LA Rams 2-3 behind Seattle and San Fran?
I think they just got Cooper Kupp back, man. They're gonna figure this offense out even more. They're gonna have more of an offensive threat. They don't have too hard of a schedule. You know, if they get not Eckler.
Who are you talking about? What are you talking about? running back.
If they get Kyron Williams,
Okay.
Kyron Williams running the ball better than he showed us last week. We'll see if this Rams team is very competitive and possibly has a chance to make it some playoff games this year.
Yeah. We'll see. I have, like I said, I still have the Rams at number 2 for the NFC West, finishing out the season. So we'll see. But yeah, I have the Rams as number 2. As long as Aaron Donald stays healthy, defensive wise, which is good, and Cooper Kupp and now Puka with Matt Stafford at the helm, I think they'll be fine. Not really worried about it. So hopefully they'll tie things up all together and they'll start putting on a better performance.
We got the Bengals at the Cardinals for the next game. Sammy, is Joe Burrow back?
I do.
Is he back?
I do not want to.
Let me tell you, viewers, something.
Wait, no.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, hold up. I'm gonna speak. Give me a minute.
I'll let you get to it.
So, I really want to say that this team is finally going to wake up, just like they did this past season. I feel like these past 2 seasons, right, where they just all of a sudden wake up and start winning all these games and start coming back, and all of a sudden they're a top contender for the AFC. I can't say that with a firm grip and say yes, because they versed the Cardinals. Like, if it was maybe a bigger team and they beat them the way they did, okay, fine. But there are still question marks right now behind this Bengals defense too. Don't get me wrong, the Bengals defense is good, but they aren't looking the best neither. So it's like, I understand the Bengals offense might have just woke up and maybe they can keep it all together, but they have to keep it all together. We can't have none of this, oh, we're going to go off this week, and then next week they play somebody better, and then all of a sudden, interception. Oh, he's missing wide open people. You know what I mean? So we can't have none of that. Now, big hats off to Jamar Chase. It's funny because last week I even talked about it. He literally said, I'm always fucking open, right? I'm always fucking open.
Look what he did.
You know what Joe Burrow did? He was like, all right, mister, I'm always fucking open. I'll hit you. And that's what he did. He was able to grab him. He got open way down the field. He caught one for 63 yards. It was insane like that.
Yeah. It was
the 30-yard line all the way to the 10 on the other side. Like, he freaking heaved that thing, and it was. I wouldn't say it was right in the bucket, but it was pretty damn close. It was right here,
Yeah, right in front of him. Yep.
So, wow, if he could do that, that's the Joe Burrow we know from this past season. So hopefully, as long as they can keep it all together and they keep doing that, they'll be fine. But they still, as far as I know, I think they have a tough schedule. Am I wrong?
No, the Bengals do have a tough schedule. They have a terrible tough schedule at the end of their last week's.
So I'm glad they were to turn around this week. But
all right, so they got the Seahawks, the 49ers, the Bills, Texans, Ravens, Steelers, Jags, Colts, Vikings, Steelers, Chiefs. So the next couple games are going to be a real test. If they win these games, our takes in the beginning of this year are going to be correct with the Bengals. Now, if they lose 2 of these games, whether that be the Seahawks and the 49ers or the 49ers and the Bills, if they lose both of those games, I don't see them being a playoff team, Sammy.
Yeah.
It's just going to be tough. It's going to be tough with the way they're looking right now, 2-3. If they lose 2 out of the 3 next games, it's going to be really, really tough. It's still a competitive division.
They're still last. They're still last right now. They're still in dead last. Don't get me wrong.
So, I mean,
you have Pittsburgh, Baltimore, and Cleveland in that division. And honestly, the only
they only have one more win.
Cincinnati.
They only have one more win than them. So it's possible for a comeback, but their schedule, the next 3 games are going to be the toughest test after this Cardinals game, because way better defenses and way better offenses that they're versing now.
Yeah. Yep. So we'll have to keep watching them for sure, and hopefully they can turn their season around. For Arizona, yeah, I think did Dobbs end up getting hurt, or I don't know. He definitely did not do well. I know that much. I know he threw 2 picks, and
No. The first touchdown of the game was to Zach Ertz for the Cardinals.
Yep,
Other than that,
and then they
didn't really pass it to him.
Touchdown, and then Marquise Brown.
Connor was out.
He got a 25-yard.
Marquise Brown was pretty solid for them as well. But
he's one of their stars.
You know, with Connor being out, it's tough for this team because that's really the guy that's propelled them into the better spots on the field so they can get a touchdown. But without him, it was really tough for them to kind of win against, you know, a team that's still, you know, a team that's competitive. You know, their defense showed out. You know, they were forcing stuff. I'm not sure if they forced a fumble, but I believe they did get an interception.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah. Yes, they did. Technically Dobbs ended up causing a fumble, and Cincinnati ended up recovering.
Okay, so it was a fumble.
And but Dobbs also threw 2 interceptions.
So yeah, I mean the Bengals showed out offensively and defensively. Great game for them. Great bounce back game. We'll see if they can continue it with their tough schedule. I don't think they win 2 out of the next 3. I think they lose 2 of the next 3. But we'll see.
About the Cardinals?
No, I'm talking about the Bengals.
Okay, so you're saying they lose the next 2 out of 3.
Yeah, the only team that I see them again? Seahawks, 49ers, and Bills.
Oh yeah, I see them potentially beating the Seahawks, I see them hopefully beating the Seahawks.
They can potentially. I mean, the Jags beat the Bills, so I mean, like
anything's possible. But
correct, but do they beat the 49ers? Absolutely not.
Yeah, we'll see. No promises. No promises.
I don't see it, Sammy. Don't see it.
Burrow actually is back on his tip top. I hope we have a shootout. I really hope.
Wouldn't that be nice? You know, like 2 very competitive teams.
The shootout
like
we never got from last year.
Yeah.
The shootout we never got.
Yeah.
So hopefully it ends up happening, but if it doesn't, then I mean,
it's a true test for Joe Burrow and Joe Mixon and Jamar Chase and T. Higgins if he's active during this game. It's a huge test for them because if they come out with a W against the Seahawks, which are established winning team right now in the league, if he comes out with a dub against them and he looks just as good as he was against the Cardinals, we're talking about a team that can make the playoffs and can possibly beat the next 2 teams, which are the 49ers and the Bills. So, I mean, watch out, but I'm not expecting a huge game against those 2 tough defense matchups.
Yeah, I'm not. We'll only time will tell, right, Justin? Only time will tell. So, hopefully, big win for Cincinnati. Not that big of a win, but big win, at least confidence-wise. Now you got some.
I believe that was probably a must-win for them against the Cardinals.
That was a must-win and a confidence booster. So hopefully they can keep that confidence and take it to the next game.
Sammy, what's the status on Kyler Murray right now?
On Kyler Murray, so as far as I know,
are they trading him? Are they gonna play him this year? What's the deal? Like, are we seeing Dobbs for the end of the year, or are we seeing Kyler Murray?
Kyler Murray,
I'm very confused about this.
Comes off the PUP list. I believe it's week 6. So after this next week, he comes off the PUP list, and pretty much.
So after week 6.
Yes.
So week 7.
So week 7 technically can be his first start. Will they play him? As far as the coach is saying, they're saying that they're taking it day by day. They do not know if they want to rush him right into it. And I guess
Is
that just also depends on
let me
how
also
well
ask
he's
you this:
performing.
is Kyler Murray better than Dobbs?
Yes,
I
in my
I
opinion.
think so too. Yeah.
Yes. And this game just said it in a way. Like,
Yeah, I think so too.
but we also won't see until Kyler Murray's out there. But I feel like Kyler Murray definitely is one of the Justin Fields.
Just
Like,
imagine
he could definitely
you saw
get
that
that.
run that Dobbs had against the Cowboys, and you saw that run. What a great run from Dobbs, man. But think about Kyler Murray in that spot. I think Kyler Murray scores a touchdown off of that.
Oh, he's quick. He's fast. He's little. He's
I
small, but
think
he's fast
he
and he has an
scores a
arm.
touchdown off of
He's
that.
fast. He has an arm. Like I said, he is like.
Yeah, we might be looking at a competitive team with Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray comes back, but if they lose more, it's over for them. They should really be looking at the draft, seeing what they can get out of Kyler Murray. Maybe Kyler Murray goes elsewhere. But if they can get out of him with nice return, and then also get yourself another rookie, quarterback that's you have faith in, that you saw you worked out, go get yourself a new quarterback, trade him away, get yourself some pieces that you need offensively and defensively just to bolster this squad even more and make yourself competitive for the next couple years. But I don't see them winning, like being a winning team, until they do some moves to get some pieces. Zach Ertz, he's a veteran. He's going to be retiring soon. Marquise Brown, he's a nice talent to their squad, deep ball threat, but they need a little bit more. Connor is really good as well. If they can just bolster that offensive line and have Kyler Murray work with this squad next year, it might be really good. But also they have the option to trade him, get him out of there, get some good pieces in return. But I don't know if they get any more than a 3rd-round pick off of Kyler Murray. He's been injured.
Yeah, we'll see. I want to talk about the next game, Justin. We're starting a little lower on time, so let's start jumping into the next one. So next game we got is the Jets and the Broncos. Well, the Jets ended up pulling out 31-21. And I'm gonna tell you this right now. This was
How about those Sean Payton comments?
This was not a Zach Wilson show. I will definitely tell you that much. He definitely did not do as well as he did the past week. Where
this was a Breece Hall show.
So, yeah, he came back to earth and became the Zach Wilson we all know.
Finally, Breece Hall shows up for the Jets, man. They finally give him the workload that every Jets fan was like begging for. They were like, please give the ball to Breece Hall. We got him for a reason. Give Breece Hall a chance to get Zach Wilson away from the pressure, man. Run the ball more. Let your defense win you the game. Don't throw picks. Don't do stupid plays. Let's run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. And, look what they did, and look what happens because of it.
Yep, Breece Hall ended up literally taking it to the house, 72 yards. So that was pretty awesome. I liked watching that. That was pretty cool. But yeah, the potential is definitely there for him, and he is definitely for one. It's crazy because they also have Dalvin Cook, and we were like, for me, I was going back and forth between Dalvin Cook and Breece Hall. Like who's gonna be like RB, like that clear RB1? But now it's like set,
pretty clear
in my mind. It's just Breece Hall. Breece Hall is gonna be clear one. So he definitely showed out.
Do they get an uptick? Do they get an uptick next week?
What do you mean uptick?
All right, so next week, I don't think this is any surprise. They go against the Eagles.
Yeah.
Do they use Breece Hall? Or does Zach Wilson throw a shit ton of picks next week?
I still think they use Breece Hall. Although I feel like it's not going to get much. Definitely not as much as they did this week because they were going against the Broncos, who are actually one of the worst defenses in the league. So
There was a chance
yeah,
for the Broncos to come back this game too.
yeah, they had definitely had a chance until
How about
Russell
Sean
Wilson had
Payton
to
going off?
fumble that that pass that he could have made for bottom fourth quarter. Had
If you guys haven't seen that video, you viewers out there, you guys haven't seen the video, Sean Payton yelling at Russell Wilson, I advise you guys to go look at it.
It was funny.
It does not look good. Looks funny,
No.
but it does not look good whatsoever. Sean Payton is very angry. He came with those strong remarks in the beginning of the season. Nathaniel Hackett did a terrible job. We're going to be doing the complete opposite of that. That coaching staff was terrible. Well, they have four losses
fumbles, now. 4 fumbles. 2 by Wilson. He didn't throw any picks, but he had 2 fumbles. And
he just ran the ball a lot as well.
One of them he was actually able to recover, but the other one was lost. Perrine ended up fumbling, and also Marvin Mims ended up fumbling. So, like I said, 4 fumbles. You can't have 4 fumbles in a game and expect to win. Like,
and
you gotta hold on the freaking ball. This is like throwing in
respect to Nathaniel Hackett coming out there showing what he's made of with the play calling. You know, like giving the ball to Breece Hall, making the right calls. You know, congratulations to the Jets. They figured it out offensively. But then again, this is the Broncos. Like, this is the worst defense in the league. Like, statistically, the worst defense in the league. We're talking about how many points have been scored on them. They're the worst in the league. Bottom of the pack. So, for the Jets to get 31 points on them, great job. But also, are they going to be able to do anything against the Eagles?
Yeah, no. Yeah, no.
What's the game plan against the Eagles? And I mean, if the Jets somehow come up with a W against the Eagles, what are the concerns for the Eagles? And do we talk about Zach Wilson possibly being in the playoffs?
We're not gonna get into speculations right now.
Yeah,
I don't even want to
I love getting you guys into speculation for sure, but it's great to talk about.
Yeah. I just don't want to get into it right now because like I said, we're running lower on time. So I definitely want to push through some of these games. Big one for the Jets, 31-21. They are now 2-3 underneath Buffalo and Miami. And then Denver at 1-4 with Kansas winning that division 4-1. And then the Los Angeles Chargers and Las Vegas Raiders tied at, Los Angeles Chargers are 2-2. Raiders are 2-3. So, Denver's I don't know. I think.
And we talked about how Sean Payton said that he wanted to, unretire for the situation. This doesn't look like the perfect situation. If anything, he's tarnishing what he's been in the past. All that respect, and then he comes out with a big, punch to the throat to Nathaniel Hackett, and then gets beat by him. This is a clear defeat and a clear, downgrade for their morale as a group, especially with those videos of, Sean Payton screaming and yelling at Russell Wilson after that fumble. It just doesn't look good for their group, and this team is not going to look good morale-wise this year, and it's going to be tough to say if Sean Payton stays or steps down.
Yep. We'll just see. Let's get into the next game, Justin. We got the Green Bay Packers at the Las Vegas Raiders, who Raiders ended up taking it home 17-13. Wow. What happened to Jordan Love, Justin? What happened?
He tossed it. End of story. He tossed the game, dude. You can't have 3 interceptions. I do understand, you guys that watched the game, two of them were bounced, like reflected, deflected, whatever for interception. But I mean, the last 2 interceptions. Actually, sorry, the first interception of Jordan Love was complete terrible. He tried to fit it into a pocket, didn't see the guy, covering
Yeah,
that area,
he threw
just
it
threw
right
it
to him.
right to him. So that right there was terrible because
Yeah.
in the field position they were in their own field, within 20, 30 yards of their own field. Easy opportunity for the Raiders to cash in a touchdown. Just you can't have takeaways like this. They just cost you dearly. And when you look at the Packers, without Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon went out there and showed out. He showed for the first time that he showed that he can get it done on the ground, and the Packers really should have won this game.
Without Aaron
If it wasn't
Jones.
for those takeaways, the Packers literally had this game, and it's just sad to see because Christian Watson came back. We thought Christian Watson was going to be having a breakout season when he comes back from his hamstring. He came back from his hamstring these past 2 games. He's looked all right. Has he looked amazing? And has a connection between Jordan Love and Christian Watson been there?
I will see this, Justin. Christian Watson is getting open, and clearly he does not have that connection right now with Jordan Love because he's getting open. He's like, fucking this.
Yeah, last interception of the
what
last
are you doing?
last
here.
interception of the game to seal it. Christian Watson was wide open.
Oh yeah, he like waved him a while ago.
Just
and he was looking, and he
like
was
didn't
this,
time it correctly. By the time he got done with his first transition into looking at his other receiver. His first receiver was Dobbs, and Dobbs was on the right side. Right, he looked there first, didn't see anything. Then he looked over at Christian Watson. Christian Watson was already wide open, but by the time he looked over, the defense got like the guy in the end that was covering him saw Jordan Love's eyes, realized that he's going to throw the ball to Christian Watson, and then was able to intercept the ball. So my question is, why didn't he look at Jordan Love why didn't Jordan Love look at Christian Watson first? Why wasn't he the first guy you looked at? In a key third and like 4, 3rd and 4, you still have 4th down, you still have a timeout, like look at your best guy and then, throw it out. Throw it away. You still have some time to roll with. You still have a timeout. Like, run the ball if you wanted to for the first down. Call a timeout. Then try Christian Watson. I just don't understand.
Jordan Love was scared.
I don't understand that throw there.
He was scared of Max Crosby, bro. He was terrified.
Yeah,
he came after him so many times. It was not even funny. And
let's talk about that. Let's talk about how Max Crosby really displayed why he's as good as he is, why he's talked about as much as he is.
Yeah, I mean he's a 2-time Pro Bowler, and he's played every season he's been in the NFL. He has played every single game. He has not missed one game, and everybody asked him the same question: how are you able to stay healthy, like all the time? And he just says this: it's because I keep my body in shape year round. Like, not just during the season. I stay in shape throughout the season. Yeah. Like, even off season, he's doing his thing in the gym. Like, he's going to the gym. He's working out. He's putting in reps. He's doing what he can to make sure he's in tip-top position. And as a team leader for the defense, he needs to be that leader for the defense and show them, like, this is like, kind of be that leader and be like, this is what you need to do to be successful. And he's doing a good job of it. So he's definitely doing a great job. And if he keeps doing what he's doing, they shouldn't have, hopefully, not too many problems defensively. Although, offensively, definitely need to start picking it up a little bit for the Raiders.
Raiders' next 2 games, Patriots and Bears, both 1-4. I think they win those.
Yeah, I don't.
Both have QBs. Both have QBs that don't. The Bears and the Patriots. Both teams have both QBs on the Patriots, and then on the Bears, they both hate pass rush. And what is Crosby gonna do to him?
So with the Bears.
Yeah, that's the biggest question.
Patriots, I'm not really worried about. Mac Jones is fucking livestock right now.
Yeah,
fucking livestock right now.
He's looking like he might get benched, here soon. Belichick might just be like, okay, well, you're benched.
He's still gonna be a starting quarterback as of right now, but we'll see. As of right now, he's still going to be their starting quarterback. Belichick already said that in the whenever they had the announcement, whenever he was breaking out the news, he was still saying that he's still gonna be their number
What
one
happens?
quarterback.
What happens if they lose to the Patriots? Then they lose to the Bears, and then they have the Lions coming up.
Who, the Raiders?
No, the Patriots. Or sorry, the Raiders. Yes.
First of all, I don't think they lose to the Patriots. But if they end up losing to Chicago and they also lose to the Pats, yeah, I think it's over for the Raiders. I think that the Chargers and Kansas are going to be the top two for that division. That's all I got.
Yeah, I agree. Easily agreed.
Mm-hmm. And especially with Justin Herbert performing the way he has been. So if he keeps doing what he's doing, honestly, I don't see. It's just, and if you look, like the points performed right now for the Raiders are so low. They're like 79 points, compared to like everybody else who's like around 110, 120, 128. It's just.
How about the problem that nobody's talking about right now? Nobody's talking about the problem they have at the field goal kicking unit. Carlson missed 2 field goals this game. And we're not talking about the younger brother Carlson that's playing on the Packers. We're talking about, Carlson that's on the Raiders, the guy that they've had for years and the guy that's been really statistically good for them. Misses 2. 1, I believe, wasn't his fault. They got the laces. I think the rookie, placer, football placer, he messed up and put the laces out in front, and then Carlson kicked the laces, and then the other one was tipped.
Yeah, so that I can't blame Carlson for the one with the laces, and even the one that gets blocked. I don't know, the one that gets blocked sometimes. It
was a 53-yarder, so he had to kick it low and far.
So you just gotta hope they don't get a finger on it. And then for the other one, as a snap holder, which I think is always the backup quarterbacks, if I'm correct. So whoever the backup quarterback is that's holding that snap, he needs obviously to hit the reps. Are you serious? Like, how are you fucking this up in the NFL? Yeah. Like, what the hell? Like
almost cost them the game there.
Literally.
Because people were going to talk about
terrible play call. That was a terrible play call.
People were going to talk about
4th and 1.
Did he make the right call there? Did he make the right call there to go for a field goal?
Absolutely not. Nope, absolutely not. He should have ran it.
They were what, 4th and 2? 4th and 1 or 4th and 2?
If he gets the field goal, Justin, here's the thing. You got the field goal. Hey, congrats. Now you're up 20-13. Oh, wait. You're still one possession game. It doesn't change anything. You're still in one possession. So at the end of the day, they were still going to have to get a touchdown because Green Bay, they were still 4 points behind. So they had to get a touchdown no matter how you looked at it.
Yeah.
So it was like, so what? You were just doing it for insurance?
Well, yeah. So no, they were trying to make it seem so like if they kick a field goal, no matter what, they can only tie. They can't beat the Raiders, So like if the Raiders get that field goal,
I have no faith in
then even if the Packers score, it's tied. It goes into overtime.
But I have no faith in them in overtime. They've already lost in overtime if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
So I have no faith in them. So I don't know why they're going for an overtime. I don't feel like they have the best team for an overtime. They should have just ran I'm sorry. They should have just ran
Josh Jacobs.
So
agreed.
And he was running amazing that day. So
now I have a question for you, Sammy. You seen what Aaron Jones did the first week, right? Like he just went off, right? 2 touchdowns. He was catching balls. Then he came down with that hamstring late in the game. He was out, weeks 2 and week 3. Came back week 4, played for like maybe 5, 6 plays, if that. Yeah. Came back out, and then he was questionable going into this next game and just out week 5 for some reasons. So they're got a bye next week. So they have 2 weeks to kind of figure out their offense and get it going to figure it out with Christian Watson, figure it out with Aaron Jones, get them on the field together and kind of like bolster your offense, get more practice time, more reps with these guys, and figure out your offense, really. Matt Fleur, he has an offensive mind, super offensive coach, needs to figure it out with Jordan Love, needs to figure it out with his receivers and with Aaron Jones coming back, because this team, honestly, surprised me. I thought they had a lot more potential in them.
Yep, I agree. And so I wanna finish. I'm gonna wrap up that, Justin, and pretty much, big congrats to the Raiders for getting it done. They still have a long schedule ahead. Packers, you need to wake the fuck up. Jordan Love, stop throwing interceptions.
All right, Stream. We're gonna get into our witching hour.
Yeah, so this is going to be. I think we should start calling this segment Blitz. So Justin, I'm just going to start going through these segments of some of these teams. You're just going to give me the best opinion about what you had about it.
Hit me.
Very short,
let's do it.
Second one, and we'll go to the next one. All right, so first one, Texans at the Falcons, with the Falcons beating the Texans 21-19. What's your thoughts on that?
CJ Stroud almost came back and won it for him. He got that touchdown. Just couldn't hold the Falcons from getting, any points on the board. Then they got the field goal and they win. So, comments on it, Texans look good still. The Falcons just played out of their minds. They just played really good the whole game. I want to say that they did a great job. Desmond Ridder, after having that really bad game and where I thought he was the worst quarterback in the league, showed out.
Back through 329 yards.
I thought the Falcons were going to come into week 6 at 2-3, not 3-2, tied with the Saints. So team still looks good. They just got a pickup wide receiver, Van Jefferson. Not sure what that's going to really do, because Van Jefferson was the third guy on the Rams offense as wide receiver. Just wide receiver 3, I believe. I'm not sure.
He's going to provide some.
It will.
Utility.
Yeah, I think it relieves some pressure from Drake London, but also, can Ridder throw? He showed us that he can throw. Kyle Pitts hasn't really showed out. There's a bunch of question marks on this team that makes me believe they're still not as good as everyone's saying they are.
I agree. All right, on to the next game. Panthers at the Lions, with the Lions absolutely obliterating them, 42-24. Thoughts?
We all saw this coming. We did. Bryce Young, he needs time. I said it last week. I'm going to say it now again. Bryce Young needs time. Sam Darnold. Sorry, not Sam Darnold. Who's their backup? Who's their backup? Sammy, remind me again.
For who? The Panthers?
Yes. He looks like Sam Darnold. I can't remember his name. Help me out here.
Oh Jesus! honestly, I can't even remember his name. Yeah, I can't remember his name right now.
Okay. Well, anyways, Bryce.
Wait. Actually, Andy Dalton.
Yes. He was. Yes. There we go. So Andy Dalton, when he was on this team, he looked fantastic. They almost won that game. But with Bryce Young, they just haven't been clicking. Honestly, finally was able to score some touchdowns this game, because if not, we're talking about a team that is tanking.
Yep. All right, off to the next game, Justin. We have the Giants at the Dolphins, with the Dolphins beating them 31-16.
And, I mean, this is the reason why we didn't talk about these games more. Let's be honest. Dolphins versus the Giants. It's expected that the Dolphins win this game. They weren't that great offensively. But Achane, man, he is fast, man. Get the ball to Achane, get the ball to Tyreek, you win the game, man. Waddle isn't even that much of a factor in this offense, and they're because
it's just a very fast offense. They just have so many freaking fast people on this team. It's just run. Holy crap! Like you can't.
Yeah.
Like you have to have fast ass cornerback.
And then for the Giants, Waller finally got involved. Finally doing his thing. But
Finally.
dude, like, is this gonna happen when Saquon's back? Like, can we see this in a week to week like thing? Can he be their number one guy constantly?
Well, no. When Saquon Barkley, he's going to be clear number one. But what I'm saying is, like Darren Waller, he's still going to be their number one, at least receiver wise, right? Receiver wise, Waller, he should be their number one clear cut. Yeah, that's all I have for that. Congrats to Dolphins. Off to the next game. Saints at the Patriots with Saints. Woohoo! They're absolutely blowing them out 34-0. Thoughts?
Those of you guys that watched our last podcast, let me let you in on something. I said something that was a complete bad take, and I just need to apologize.
That's why I'm laughing, guys.
I need to apologize to everyone out there that I even said the name Mac Jones and said that he was going to be good this year. I sincerely apologize because the first 2 games I thought they found him. They found the guy, like, and then the last 3 games, like, just nothing, just skunked.
Technically, the past two have just been absolutely abysmal.
Just skunked, man. And like, I get it, the Saints defense is good, but Baker Mayfield and the Bucks scored on them. Come on.
Beat them a good,
like, this is
margin.
Bill Belichick's Patriots. How they don't get Stevenson, like, the ball more, how they don't, like, score more is just beyond me against these teams. They should at least put 7 points, 1 touchdown. They can't even get 1. 0 touchdowns in 2 games. Like, how can I support my take of Mac Jones being good when there's 0 points scored in 2 games and like 1 field goal in 2 games, and that's it. It's just, that's all I got to say about it. The Saints, they look good this game, but we beat them, so.
Yeah, I'm not really worried now. After the game we had against them and at their home. Off to the next game. Ravens at the Steelers, with the Steelers ending up beating the Ravens 17-10.
Oh, I know Ravens fans are bumping their heads watching this game in the 4th quarter. Oh, just why fumble it? Why? JJ Watt, man. Well, it wasn't even Watt that came up with the fumble. Like, he picked it up, right? He recovered it, but he wasn't the one who forced the sack and hit Lamar Jackson's arm.
TJ Watt. No.
Yeah. Sorry, TJ Watt. Yes. What a beast, man. This guy is putting up, like, historic numbers. He's on pace to, like, really, like, challenge historic numbers on, in the sack category.
From his brother.
Yeah, so, I mean, they're just cut from a different thread from everyone else, man. Like, who would you rather, Max Crosby or TJ Watt?
Yeah.
That's the thing, and they're both super talented.
Not even picking off
Aaron Donald or TJ Watt. See, like, we're having this debate right now,
Yeah, we're not. No, I'm not having no debate about any of that. All right, off to the next game. Chiefs and Vikings, with the Vikings ended up losing at home 20-27. Thoughts? Closer than what I thought.
I'm sorry, Vikings fans.
Closer to what I thought.
I'm sorry, Vikings fans. Not only do you lose this game and go 1-4,
you also lose JT.
You also lose your best receiver, and now you might even lose more games. If you lose against the Bears next week, what are you doing?
Justin Jefferson, I'm sorry. We'll see you next 5
Oh my God, dude! Like, the Bears have been able, like, they've been rolling. The Bears, they've been rolling, like, these last 2 games, like, offensively rolling. Now they get to go against another bad defense with the Vikings. My bet's on the Bears. Without Justin Jefferson to score points for the Vikings, you better not give the ball to Madison, because if you give the ball to Madison, he's gonna fumble it.
And a quick note, real quick.
How many fumbles?
Chiefs need to wake the fuck up offensively. Definitely not putting up the numbers we're used to. So Mahomes, I don't know what's going on. I don't even want to blame Mahomes. I want to blame his receivers. Start catching the damn ball outside Travis Kelce.
Well, Rice is doing really well. He's a rookie there. He's been really well for them. But the rest of the guys, yes, I agree with you.
Yeah. And then also stop getting these holding calls, man. That's gonna kill Mahomes, man. That is really gonna kill Mahomes. Hey, remember when we gave up Smith, Justin, and then he went to the Kansas? Look what he's doing over there. He's holding for them over there now too. So it looks like things never change. Glad we got rid of him. Have fun with them. All right, off to the next game. Cowboys and 49ers.
Hold on, real quick. I need to like give you guys a stat.
Oh, jeez.
The Minnesota Vikings through 5 weeks have 6 fumbles. That's not counting the ones that were reversed. You know, like they were called fumble on the field and then reversed.
Yeah.
I'm like 6 fumbles in 5 games. Sammy, like, yeah. And some of it's come from Madison, some of it's come from Kirk Cousins. Like, this is not winning formula.
Nope. They're gonna have to tidy some things up, Justin. That's it. They're just gonna tidy some things up. And
even if they do, I think they're out of time.
1-4. Yeah, especially with Justin Jefferson out now. So, like I said, good luck. So, all
right, let's get into the next one.
Justin. This is last and final game. Sunday
night. Oh,
man. Cowboys and 49ers. How about them Cowboys?
Hey.
How about them Cowboys?
I want to tell a story about this game, man. I was so hyped for this game. I was like, finally, the 49ers get to verse somebody that, you know, is challenging the NFC. You know, we get to see a matchup before, you know, the Eagles. We get to see a matchup with the Cowboys, you know, like, and they're a winning team. So we're about to find out if the 49ers are as good as they, you know, everyone's saying they are. And what did they show? 42 points on a top, supposedly, 5 defense. 42 points.
Right now. I'd be like, yeah. And
I just don't understand. I just don't understand how they allowed that to happen. You know, Brock Purdy, I don't want to hear any questions, any debate right now about this. Brock Purdy's #1 quarterback in the league right now.
Yeah. No doubt. No question about it. Although, I will say this.
I don't want you guys to be like, oh, like, this guy's better, this guy's better. No.
I'm going to lose my shit. I have to note it. Brock Purdy, quarterback, goes anywhere else, not going to perform as good as he is.
Sammy,
so,
all right. Okay.
Have to put it out there because every time.
Look at Jimmy G. Look at Jimmy G, right? Look what he did with the 49ers. Look what he's doing with the Raiders. So, I can agree with you, right? Mm-hmm. But look what he's doing on the 49ers, Brock Purdy. He has been playing better than Jimmy G by far, like by a mile.
Yeah. But he also does have Christian.
Like when Jimmy G was on the 49ers, he was good. He was your average QB. He got what needed to happen to win because he had that defense, he had that offensive line. He had plenty of time. But look how good, look how settled Brock Purdy looks when he throws the ball. Perfect thrown ball, plenty of time. Dude, he has been showing out, and he's got to be QB1 in a lot of people's eyes right now. In fact, there should be majority of people right now saying that Brock Purdy could be in the race to win MVP. You know, like 13 straight victories in the regular season. 13 straight.
Yep. And the next game will break the franchise record when Jerry Rice was on that team. So we will see if that happens. That will be one hell of a story to talk about.
And let's talk about how cushiony their schedule is. Jeez, man. It couldn't have been more easier for the 49ers to make it to the chip.
Yeah, they should get this, no doubt about it. They're versing the Browns at the Browns next week, and I don't see them losing. So as
Browns,
long as they end up
Minnesota,
winning, they are gonna break that
Cincinnati,
record.
Jacksonville, Tampa, Seattle, Philly. So honestly, the one team that I see threatening to beat them, sorry, two
Philly.
teams,
Philly and
Cincinnati
Bengals. Yep.
and Philly.
Philly and Bengals. Yep.
So two teams out of the rest of their schedule that can beat that team, possibly. So we're looking at a team that can possibly go undefeated.
Yeah, and probably break the NFL record for consecutive games won in a regular season. So,
Can you imagine
yeah.
what that does? People are talking about, like, people will be talking about Brock Purdy being in contention
Yeah.
with boom, 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 Patrick Mahomes.
Yep. But he still has to win a Super Bowl, and not one,
Two.
but at least two. But at least
Do you think he can't do that with this squad? Back to back. They will have to let people go, but
it's easier to win regular season games than it is to win playoffs and Super Bowls.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
Until it happens, we'll see. Right? Until it happens, we'll see. Congrats on them, though. They're doing a great job. Keep it up. Keep doing what you're doing. You're looking like the scariest team in the NFL right now, and
they are the scariest team in the NFL. I don't
Absolutely.
think there is a
the most
question of that.
overpowered
We've been
freaking-
saying that
like,
since
if
week
this
one.
if this was an anime right now, I would be like, this team is like the character of an anime. He is overpowered as shit.
You know,
So,
most paid, position wise in every position, really. Like most
Yeah.
paid. Like it's not sustainable. So this is a win or bust season for the 49ers in my eyes. But I mean, they can be competitive just like how the Chiefs were after they won their Super Bowl and still make it 2 more times. So they've been to the Super Bowl 3 times, even though they got rid of Tyreek Hill, that second year. They still went.
we'll just have to see how the season keeps going. But as far as I can see, they should probably stay undefeated and probably go hope. That would be crazy if they end up going, what is it, 18 games, right? 18. So if they go 18-0, I think they'll break the NFL record. So yeah, this is the season. They do have a lot of money sunk in this team, so we will see how it all turns out to be. But yeah, I feel like that's all the time we have, Justin. We're a little over 90 minutes. definitely had talked about a lot of things, but there was a lot to talk about, so it's understandable. But do you have anything else to say to the podcast before we end? Unfortunately, we didn't see any comments, but hey, next time if you guys get in here early or get in here anytime, hit us up with some comments. Hit us up with some things to talk about. If you guys want to talk about a certain thing that you want us to touch base on, we can easily touch base on. We're here to hopefully help you guys understand things, or maybe even just give our opinions on it, right? It might not help, but maybe just give our opinions. So
I see the
Have any
49ers
last
winning
words?
almost 13 games. Man, we're just looking at a disgusting team, and really the only particular threat in the NFC is the Eagles. I mean, it is what it is. We saw what the Cowboys did against them, and they couldn't do shit. So, in the NFC, it's the 49ers, and is it anybody else? And we're Bucks fans, by the way.
Is that your closing statement?
Yep, that is my closing statement. Is it the 49ers or is it anybody else?
All right. Well, hey guys, thank you guys tuning in for the Week 5 podcast. We hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you guys tune in next week, Tuesday at 6:00. Sorry, we did start a little early today. We had some extra free time, and we could actually go over a lot more with you guys when we start an hour early, but it doesn't happen all the time. Most of the time I end up working. I don't get home till around 5:30, so most of the time that's why we start at 6. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure you guys, if you guys haven't, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you guys tell your friends, family, whoever, share this video. We're going to be releasing hopefully a lot more things, clips. We also have a Twitter. I actually just made a Twitter account. You could check it out at the_Santos_show. Search that at the_Santos_show. And you can find us there. I also named it the Santos Show podcast. So you can find that there. I will be posting updates if anything changes. So please make sure you guys also follow that if you guys want to stay updated on when we will go live and stuff.
We after the stream we're gonna be adding a button for it, so you guys can get our social medias,
Yes.
our Twitter and get in and be able to put messages, debates,
Our
and if
Twitter,
it's good,
Instagram,
if it's a
Justin,
good
probably
debate,
watching Instagram.
if it's a good vote, we're gonna go ahead and pin it, have everyone vote on a particular matter, and we should have some votes up there for you guys to go and debate, and it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely will. Justin, have anything else to say to the fans?
Go Bucks next week.
Go Bucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully we end up
Let's
winning,
go 4-1, baby. Let's go 4-1.
Only time will tell, right? Like we got a pretty tough game coming up, so we'll see what happens. We're versing the Lions, and Lions
Had a nice week off. Let's get back to football and see how it goes.
That's it. All right. Well, it's been your boy Sammy, guys. It's been your boy Justin. Take it easy. Have a great rest of your night. And yeah, we'll see. Catch you guys
Deuces.
next week.
Catch y'all next week.